Hello, Leo Rising. This is your reading for the week of June 12th until June 18th. We're going to be looking at three major things that are happening this week for you. We're going to be looking at the last quarter moon that's going to be happening in Aquarius in your seventh house. Well, that has happened in Aquarius in your seventh house because the last quarter moon started on June 10th, around June 10th, June 11th. And we're still starting off this week in that energy. And we'll be in that energy until June 18th. And that's on a Sunday. And June 17th or June 18th, depending on what part of the country, what part of the world you're in, is going to be the new moon. And that is going to be in your 11th house. Okay. And so we're going to be looking into that. And another major thing that's going to be happening this week is Saturn is turning retrograde in your seventh house in Aquarius. So we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be answering the questions. What is the theme? What's your theme for this week? And we're also going to be answering the questions. What is your advice for this week? So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling to figure out so we can dig deeper and understand the theme for this week. What is the theme this week for Leo Rising, for Leo Ascendant, Leo Lagna, Leo in the first house? Just to let you know, I do use Vedic astrology. So if you're wondering why I'm saying the new moon is going to be in Gemini and not in Cancer, that is why. Okay. Okay. Outcoming first, we have Seven of Forces. This is balance. And this makes sense because of all of the energy that's happening in your seventh house of business, relationships, marriage. That makes sense. So this is the Seven of Wands. Okay, so let me take a look. I do believe you do have some fire in your seventh house because the Seven of Wands represents the fire element, the element of fire. And you have Mars aspecting your seventh house with its eighth aspect. And Mars is a fiery planet. And the eighth aspect of Mars is all about transformation and change. Okay. Also very fiery, we have K2's fifth aspect. Dropping papers. Fifth aspect looking at your seventh house of business and relationship, where all this energy is happening. So there is a lot of fire energy, and it's a lot of energy where it's the balance. I feel is between moving forward and reflecting. Okay. So Mars wants us to go forward. Mars wants us to take action, transform, let go of what you need to let go of, and move forward to your new beginnings with its eighth aspect there. But Saturn going retrograde is saying, yes, we do need to move forward, but there's some things that we need to reflect on in this area of our lives of business and relationships. There's some things that we need to reflect on to move forward before we move forward. So there's that balance of reflecting and also moving forward. Saturn is going to ask you to reflect on, when it comes to business and relationships, how responsible have you been? How disciplined have you been? How structured have you been? How patient have you been? Okay, so this is what you're looking at if you are Leo rising. Okay, so we're going to clarify this theme even more with the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards. Please clarify the theme of this week for Leo rising. What is the theme of this week for Leo rising? Please clarify. Seven of Swords. Seven of Wands. All right, here we have Green Tara, Supreme Protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitations and trust. Now, this is also, for me, representing Mars and Saturn, because Mars does represent protection. So does the Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands represents protection, protection while you move forward. Let me look at your ninth house. I'll look at you. Remind me to look at your ninth house in a minute. Okay. And Saturn, it talks about move beyond your limitations. Saturn represents our limitations. And when Saturn is reversed, it kind of loosens up the limitations that it would give us if it was not retrograde, if it was just stationary or moving forward, going direct, being direct. The limitations that it would normally have, it loosens up those restrictions. So this is a good time for you to, like I said, balance the reflection of how you can be more structured and things like that, how you can be more responsible, take more responsibility for the actions that you take in business and relationships, balance that reflection and moving forward. There's some definitely, with the last quarter moon being here, and the last quarter moon represents what we need to let go of, release and let go so we can move forward. With the last quarter moon being there, it's really important. Okay. It's really important that you let go and cut away, especially with K2 aspecting there. When it comes to the things that you've learned, when it comes to business and relating to other people, and when it comes to relationships, what do we need to unlearn? That's what I believe K2 with this fifth aspect on a Saturn in Aquarius really means for us. What do we need to unlearn? What do we need to unlearn? What do we need to transform? There's so much of that energy going on in your seventh house this week. So I'm going to clarify one more time with this goddess card what this theme is. The theme is heavily on Saturn going retrograde in your seventh house, the last quarter moon happening in your seventh house. Also, Saturn in your chart is Digbala, which means it has directional strength there. It's the seventh house is where Saturn has so much strength, okay? And this means you really have to follow Saturn, Leo rising. You really have to follow Saturn. You really have to follow the path of Saturn while Saturn is retrograde. So Saturn is going retrograde on June 17th. and it will stay retrograde until November 4th of this year. So you have about 4 or 5 months, about 4 months, where you're really going to have to stay focused on reflecting on the path that Saturn has for you. Get to understand the meaning of Saturn, what Saturn means for you, what Saturn means in your chart, because it's really going to help you in business and relationships. And because it's aspecting your first house, it's really going to help you with your life. Okay, so let's clarify this theme. All right. Here we have more Aquarius energy. This is Aquarius energy. Mother Earth, you are called upon to help with environmentalism. I feel like this might be really understanding how to be more patient with other people that you're in business with, how to be more patient with people who you're in relationships with. Aquarius represents, there's a lot of Aquarius that represents balancing and healing. So when it comes to business and relationships, when it comes to your 7th house, Leo rising, there might be a need for you to understand how you can, there's two things. There could be some people that you need to let go of for some of you who have Leo in your 1st house. There could be some people, definitely some mindsets that need to let go of. But there could be some people that you could be experiencing challenges with, especially because you have your 6th Lord in your 7th house. And your 6th Lord, Saturn, rules Capricorn in your 6th house. So your 6th house represents challenges. And you have Capricorn there, so it could be challenges in your work environment. You also have Pluto, retrograde Pluto there in Capricorn. And Pluto also represents change and transformation. So there's a lot of change and transformation that needs to happen in your work environment, in your career, that needs to happen in your business and relationships. And it's going to happen with you understanding how to be patient with people, how to, I believe I'm going to leave it right there. That is our theme, Leo rising. Our theme is to learn how to be patient with people. Learn, if you cannot be patient with them, let them go. Because you want to stay focused. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I wanted to look at your 9th house again. You want to be focused. This card came up for me a lot when I was going through issues where I needed to stay focused on my purpose and fight for my purpose and fight to stay on the path for my purpose, no matter what anybody else thought. So while you're on your path to your purpose, oh yeah, your 9th house is where all of okay, let me break this down. You have to fight for your purpose. Now, on your path to fighting for your purpose, there are going to be some people that you will have to understand that you have to let go of, you have to separate yourself from, you have to cut cords from. There's also people that will need to stay in your life that you're just going to have to be patient with. But none of this means you need to stop fighting for your destiny and your purpose of where you need to go. Now, I'm saying this because Rahu is really important for us always, and we want to look to Rahu to get a deeper understanding of what our destiny is. And Rahu is in your 9th house. Saturn has its 3rd aspect on your 9th house, and wherever Saturn is, it's really important because, like I said, you have Saturn is Digbala there. Saturn is going retrograde. Also, there's a Sasha Yoga that you have in your 7th house that makes Saturn so strong for you that you really need to follow it. And that's because Saturn rules Aquarius, which makes it strong. So Saturn's in Aquarius, but Saturn is in the 7th house. So like it's just really strong. So following the aspects of Saturn will be really helpful for you as well. So the 3rd aspect of Saturn represents where we need to put all of our efforts, where we need to put our skills, where we need to be really disciplined in that. And that's our 9th house. And you have Aries in your 9th house, where you have Jupiter, you have Rahu, you have Uranus. There is going to be it's confirmation that in your business, in your relationships, you might be feeling like you need to be out of the box, do something that's different from what you normally do. And people might not be ready for that sometimes, but you need to fight for what you believe your purpose is right now. And that is the thing, I feel like that is the thing. So now we're going to dig deeper into what the last quarter moon means for you. And we'll probably still get themes coming up from the 7th house, because the 7th house is coming up. You have, we just talked about your 7th house. So it's a lot of stuff going on in your 7th house. Let's clarify. What does the last quarter moon mean for Aries? I'm sorry, Leo rising. What does the last quarter moon mean for Leo rising? All right, here we have, okay, the Divine Physician. This would be the Lover's card in the original tarot deck, but I see how it's kind of blending the meanings of the 6th house and the 7th house. Because like I said, we're talking about the last quarter moon, right? The last quarter moon is in Purva Bhadra Pada. That's in Aquarius. Saturn rules Aquarius. Saturn is there in Aquarius, but Saturn also rules your 6th house of health and healing. I feel like this is bringing this out right now. Health and healing, okay? So the last quarter moon, is there something that you need to cut out of your routine, your diet? Is there something that you need to stop doing as far as your health that you need to know about for the last quarter moon? Let's clarify a little bit more. Please clarify, what does Leo rising need to know about the last quarter moon? Starting off the week. What does Leo rising need to know about the last quarter moon? All right, here we have Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. Let's see what's going on with Mercury as far as how it affects the last quarter moon. Okay, so Mercury is in Taurus. Mercury is aspecting the fourth house. So Mercury is in Taurus in your 10th house of work environment again. So this is really coming up for you. Mercury is in Taurus, which the 10th house represents your work environment. It represents your public reputation. It represents your father. Okay, so we're starting off there with and with the connection that it has with the last quarter moon is Mercury has its 7th aspect in your 4th house, and you have Scorpio in your 4th house. And also, Saturn has its 10th aspect on your 4th house. So I feel like there's also some balance that needs to happen, Leo rising, between your 4th house and your work environment. For some of you, it might mean you need to work at, consider working from home more, or it could be that you're working from home a little bit too much. There needs to be more balance. We're sticking with this theme of balance. Okay. With the sun aspecting your 7th house and Mercury aspecting, the sun's aspecting your 4th house, Mercury aspecting your 4th house, Saturn aspecting your 4th house. It's a lot of like business work type energy. Saturn is, it represents the zodiac signs that talk about your work environment and how you gain authority in your work environment. The sun represents success and management, and Mercury is all about business. So yeah, there's definitely some more balance that needs to be had. Okay, and we need to let go of. We're talking about what we need to let go of for your health. It's possible that you're working too much, and maybe you need to communicate with someone to help you get things done, because Leo is all about management. You might need to delegate. You might need to talk about your health issues with someone. But it is very possible that you could be working too much. Let's clarify one more time. Please clarify what Leo rising needs to know about the last quarter moon that we're starting the week off in. All right. And here we have Bass. Independence. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. Yeah, I feel like you need to free yourself. Free yourself from what's holding you down, from what's holding you back, from what's limiting you, from what's overwhelming you, creating too much anxiety. Go ahead and free yourself from that. That's what you need to let go of, Leo rising, during the last quarter moon. So starting off the week leading up until June 17th or June 18th, that's what we need to be thinking about and reflecting on. What do we need to do to free ourselves up from having to do so much work? Okay. What does Leo rising need to know about the new moon on June 17th or 18th, depending on where they are in America and the world? All right, the new moon is 4 of keys. That would be 4 of coins. Okay, so we'll dig a little bit deeper into this. What else does I do believe this might have something to do with the 4th house. 4 of keys, 4 of coins usually talks about earth signs though, so we'll keep that in mind. What else does, please clarify, what else does Leo rising need to know about the new moon in Gemini? All right, new moon in Gemini. We have charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. I do believe this has a lot to do with the aspect of the 11th house representing your dreams and wishes, especially because you have Gemini there, which represents communication. And that means that you can communicate. You have that communication with, you have that communication, and you can use that communication to help you communicate to the other world, to the other side. and also to your audience more, or use communication more in your to gain authority in your work environment. But you have the ability with Gemini, which is communication, in your 11th house of dreams, wishes, and desires, to communicate what you want right now, especially with the moon being is going to be there. And the sun is going to be there. The sun will move into Gemini on June 15th. So the moon and the sun is going to be there because it's going to be a new moon. And you have that ability to start off this new moon cycle in Gemini by planting seeds of manifestation that are so much in alignment with what you want and where you want to go. So do not neglect your ability of speaking what you want into existence. Okay, let's clarify one more time. What does Leo Ascendant, Leo rising need to know about the new moon in Gemini in their 11th house? All right, now we have quiet time. Take some time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. Definitely a very magical time for you. This is and you know why? I think it's because, hold on, let me look at your chart again. What I do with it? Okay. Yeah, this is a very magical time for you, especially with K2 having its ninth aspect. K2's ninth aspect of it's a lot of energy around you letting go of what you need to let go of to get to your purpose. And you know what? Let me write this down. I'm gonna go and write it down so I can make it the title. What happened to my pen? Well, hopefully I remember. It must have fell, rolled down. Okay, so I remember. But yeah, K2 allows us to separate again. K2 asks us to separate, and this ninth aspect does have a lot to do with purpose and higher education. So understand, in your 11th house, you have the ability to receive gains from this new moon. You have to understand that you can create whatever you want. Very possible for your dreams and wishes to begin to manifest, but you're going to have to do the work, because with Saturn, it's always about doing the work and being responsible and being disciplined. You have to do the work to pray, to meditate. So you can kind of have a clear connection with what you actually want, with where you're actually going, and with your spiritual team, which is your ancestors, your angels, your spirit guides, your spirit animals, your guides and goddesses that you pray to, that you connect with. Take that time. Don't just say an affirmation in the morning or before you go to sleep. Really take the time to see whatever you want as done and as manifested now. Okay, that is what the new moon is letting you know that you need to be aware of. Now let's go to the retrograde Saturn that's happening in your 7th house on June 17th. What does Leo Ascendant need to know about Saturn going retrograde in their 7th house on June 17th? All right. What do we have coming out? It is the Akashic Library. Interesting. As I know, when I think about the Akashic records, I think about Chiron. Chiron is in Pisces, and I believe your 8th house. So yeah, you getting real spiritual right now, Leo rising, and that could be one of your paths to purpose that you have to fight for. And this also makes sense because this is the card number 2, and so if we're talking about your 8th house, then that also means that we're talking about your 2nd house, because we're talking about the 8th and 2nd house axis because they're opposite from each other. So Leo, in your 2nd house, you have Virgo there. Okay, so let me look at, I believe Saturn is aspecting your, let's look before I say something. Okay, so right, so you have Chiron and Neptune in your 8th house in Pisces. So I'm trying to see the connection. I do not see it yet. So let's see, let's do some more clarifying. Let's do some more clarifying. Now I do know Well, let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. Let's just see. Let's see where it takes us. Please clarify, what does Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius in the 7th house of Leo Ascendant mean? What do they need to know about Saturn going retrograde on June 17th? Please clarify the Akashic Records card. Okay, here we have Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anyone stop you. This might have to do with a lot of transformation. It's talking about Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was, in a lot of ways, a trailblazer. So we're going to clarify one more time. Then this Saturn return could be very heavy for you, because Saturn is so strong for you, and you really have to follow Saturn. So I feel like I have to dig deep into this a little bit more, because like I said, Saturn is going to be retrograde starting June 17th all the way up until November 4th. So it's going to be retrograde for a couple months, but it's already been in your 7th house starting January of this year, and it won't leave until April of 2025. So there's going to be a lot of things, and we're going to have to check on Saturn retrograde periodically, just like we would have to check on Jupiter periodically, because those are planets that stay put for a while. So the themes, the messages will be a little deeper and have more variations than these planets that, come and go real fast. So please clarify what the retrograde Saturn means for Leo rising. All right, it's a lot of fiery, bold energy here. Bold, Freya. Unleash your adventurous side. Take risks and be daring. Okay, this is what the last quarter, not the last quarter, but Saturn going retrograde means for you. And like I said, it does I believe like the ending result will be a lot of transformation for you. But like I said before, there's a lot of fiery energy in your seventh house because Mars has its eighth aspect there and K2 has its fifth aspect there. And with Saturn going retrograde, it really is allowing you to be more daring than usual because it doesn't have its limits on you. So that kind of makes sense. Move forward, even if it's a little scary. Follow your spirit, follow your purpose, even if it's a little scary. This has so much to do with purpose and business. Okay. So lastly, we're going to look at the overall advice. What is our overall advice for this week, Leo rising? Okay, one of keys, the architect. Now, if this ain't talking about Saturn and Mars, okay, one of keys, architects. Okay, that's your advice. This has a lot to do with like creating something, establishing something, creating a structure for something, especially when it comes to something that's new. We're talking about ideas when we're talking about this. Would the one of keys would be the ace of keys or the ace of coins in the original tarot. So we're definitely talking about an idea or an inspiration when it comes to creating something or some new type of structure. So let's go ahead and clarify some more. Please clarify, what is Leo rising's advice for this week, June 12th through June 18th? All right. Here we have Rana, Soul Flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. And I believe I kind of talked about that in the beginning when I was talking about how Aquarius represents healing. There's a nakshatra in Aquarius called Shatabisha that's all about healing, the 1,000 healers. And it represents how we have so many resources and so much help to help us heal our issues. But it also talks about an issue that is required to have so much help. We need all the help we can get to heal this situation. Saturn loves long-lasting, strong, committed relationships. Okay, so Saturn might be asking you to, yes, definitely cut away, let go of anything that is limiting you moving forward. But also, like I said before, be a little bit more patient. Be a little bit more understanding of the other person, the other people that you're dealing with. Okay, so something that you are creating might take that healing of relationships. Something that you want to create might take some healing when it comes to relationships. Now we're going to use the last card to clarify. What does Leo Ascendant need to know? What is their advice for this week? Please clarify. Yikes. Oh my. Okay. All right. Medicine woman, a lot of healing. You are a channel for divine healing power. Yes. This is making me really want to look and see when Saturn is going to move into Shatabisha. But yeah, there's I don't know if it's there right now or not. But it's really important for healing to be used, to be exercised. And this healing can happen through communication, definitely, because the new moon is going to be in Gemini. But this healing, you don't want to discount spiritual healing, asking for spiritual healing right here. Okay. So yeah, that is what I have for you. This is your week in a nutshell. If you would like a personal reading, look at the description box so you can look at my readings, look at my 5-star ratings. You can look at my reviews. You can contact me and let me know that you would like a personal reading, and we can go ahead and get a customized reading working just for you. If you liked this video, make sure that you like it so you can continue to see my videos come up in your in your stream or whatever the kids call it. You also want to subscribe so you can keep seeing my content. And if you have any comments about this reading, please feel free to share. If you know someone with Leo in their first house or their moon in Leo and you feel like this reading would be helpful for them, go ahead and share that with them, okay? I look forward to talking to you next time about what this week means for Virgo ascendant, all right? Enjoy your day.